Hello everybody, this is Sierra from Sierra T Designs and I have a new card for you guys. I hope you'll enjoy and let's jump right into the making. To start, I do like to always have my paper cut down, so I do have a piece of Neenah 80-pound cardstock here, and I have cut it down to 1/8 of an inch smaller than my black mat, which is 1/8 of an inch smaller than my A2 sized card base, which is 5.5 by 4.25. And I have already laid this out in Photoshop. That's how I like to lay out my digital images. And when I saw this, I couldn't resist coloring it in with yellow, and I could not resist the floral. So I did lay it out so that I had the two florals kind of mirroring each other on the corners there. And I am going to do some kind of easy Copic coloring. It's not going to be large color blends. There's only two colors in each color family, and I just wanted it to be kind of a more simple and delicate coloring. If you see most of my coloring, I tend to lean towards rainbows and very bright, very vibrant colors. And I just really wanted to try doing something a bit softer, a bit more delicate, almost, for lack of a better word. So the colors I'm using here, I have Y00 and Y02, and I'm just using Y02 to shade in my yellow flowers. And then I'm going to take G12 and G02, and those will be my leaves. And I'm just going to work through, and I'm going to do all the leaves the same. This is a very small color blend. I find the more colors you add and the more you get more depth. There's no question there. But the more colors you add, the more it kind of ends up not looking as delicate. I don't know if that's the right word for what I'm trying to say, but that's the closest word I can come up with. It ends up not looking quite as not simple, because it's I'm not going for simple. I'm just going for very feminine, very pretty, very light maybe, and I find that the more colors I add, generally it starts to get a little bit heavy, if that makes any sense in coloring, but bear with me. So I am quickly going to show you the coloring on this other flower as well, because this is a very quick video. I laid this out in Photoshop. That didn't take me very long, and if you have any questions about how I lay this out, how I use Photoshop, anything like that, please leave a comment or ask a question. I'll happily answer any questions you have. I've never done a video on using Photoshop because I know some people don't use Photoshop, but there are a lot of other videos on this channel that have tutorials on how to use certain programs. But if you guys are interested, just let me know. I can always do a video on how I use Photoshop, and I do actually have a video coming on my personal channel of how I used Photoshop and Cricut to cut out some images. So that is coming. I'm working on that. But yeah, so if you're ever curious about how I use any program, or you have any questions, or you want to know anything about my process, or you have any questions about me, please by all means ask. I'm more than happy to answer any question you ask, and happy to have a conversation with you. So I did go around my whole image in B00 and BG00. I really like outlining images in whatever color you choose. In this case, I'm using blue because I like how it looks with yellow, but you could use gray, you could use any color. Purple probably would have looked really nice if I had had a very pale purple. And it just kind of adds a little bit of something. It kind of makes it pop off the paper without drawing your eye away from the yellow flowers. And I do a very subtle outline, sorry. I do a very subtle outline around the flowers just to kind of add a little bit of something, because this is a fairly simple card. I mean, there's not a lot of heavy Copic coloring, there's not a lot of color blending and that kind of thing, and there's not a lot of going on here. It's quite a simply laid out card, but I think the end result ended up quite pretty. So you'll have to let me know in the comments if you think that you like it, or if you don't like it, you wish it would have been a little more complicated or a little different. There's no dimension, it's flat. Sorry, I got my head in the way there. I tend to mail my cards to my pen pals or my grandma or stuff like that. So because they're always going somewhere, I tend to go for very flat cards, just because it's easier for me to mail them, as I do live in Canada, and for me to send cards to a lot of my pen pals are Americans, and if I have too much bulk on them, they get quite expensive to ship, or to mail out. So I tend to make very flat cards. And so in this case, this is quite flat because there's no dimension at all. I was just kind of going for a very pretty, kind of more of a simple card, because I mean, I've done 4 or 5 color blends with my Copics, and that can be a bit overwhelming, but you can create a beautiful card with only using a 2 color family. Like, it doesn't have to be multiple colors. And that also, if you're just starting out, you don't have to have Copics, of course. But if you're just starting out, you don't need 4 or 5 colors in each family. I mean, when I first started out, I had a couple, and then I slowly kept buying a couple, and then a couple more, and then over a couple of years, now I've gotten I still don't have them all, but I've gotten a decent collection. So by all means, use what you have. I mean, this would have been stunning with pencil crayons as well. Or not watercolors, sadly. I don't have a laser printer yet. That's something I'm working on getting. But if you had a laser printer, I would have loved to watercolor this. So that is something that I'll revisit here in a little while when if I can get my hands on a laser printer. Because I only have inkjet, and inkjets, they bleed. So I don't have one yet. But I also brought in some Nuvo glitter drops in silver crystal. So it's going to add a lot of shine. And I just put that couple of drops in the center of each flower just to add a little bit of something extra. So that is my card. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you'll let me know what you think. Was it too simple? Was it simple enough that it's still pretty? Whatever you think, comment below and let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this card, I'd love for you to subscribe and maybe come back, leave me a like, leave me a comment, and I cannot wait to see you guys again soon. So have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye, guys.